I pledge allegiance
allegiance to the
the
flag
flag
of the United
of the United
States
States
of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
and
one nation,
under
under
God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been met by transmitting the notice of the regular meeting to the Commissioner's official newspaper on February 9th, 2023, posting the notice where required, and filing a copy of the notice with the Commission Clerk. The Deal Lake Commission meeting will be audio and videotaped and will be shown on APTV, Optimum 77, and throughout most of Monmouth County on FiOS 28. We'll take the roll. Allenhurst? Asbury Park?
Yes.
Deal? Interlaken?
Yes.
Loch Arbor?
Here.
Hi, Margot.
Hi.
Neptune? I thought I heard Eric.
and Eric's gonna be out tonight. He's got a class.
Okay. And Ocean.
Yes,
No Bruce? No Tony?
not yet.
Okay. Tonight we have resolution 2346, a resolution to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 17th, 2023. Someone offer?
I'll offer Asbury Park.
Second?
I'll
Motion.
second.
Go ahead, Margot's going. Lock on.
Thank you. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Deal Lake Commission held on August 17th, 2023, being the same, are hereby approved. Asbury Park?
Yes.
Interlaken?
Yes.
Loch Arbor?
Yes.
And Ocean.
Yes.
And tonight we have the treasurer's report. I guess I'll read it. The balance in the beginning of the month was $68,367.91. We had interest of $546.95, which brought it up to $68,914.86. We had disbursements of $3,835.01. We had a disbursement from grants for $737.50, for a grand total of disbursements of $4,572.51, for a balance at the end of the month of $64,342.35. In the Manasquan Bank, we have $20,021, and in New Jersey Cash Management Fund, we have $44,342.14. Someone offer the treasurer's report and pay the bills?
So offered.
Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Asbury Park?
Yes.
Interlaken?
Yes.
Loch Arbor?
Yes.
And Ocean.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Don.
Okay. The grant 2017 grant update. We had a few incidents again. We had you guys got a mute somewhere. Okay. We had a grass cutting of a rain garden again. It must have happened 2 or 3 times since we last saw it. We notified the Wesley Lake Commission again. I had pictures. I went by it today. It was freshly cut. Luckily, the second one, the fire lane has not been cut at all, and it looks gorgeous. So, Steve and Peter's got major concerns about, long-term damage if they continue to cut it, or it might have been damaged already. Who knows how heavy the equipment is. So, Peter, you want to take it from here?
Sure. I was notified today. I don't know about the previous cuttings. We did speak with the Buildings and Grounds Director from Ocean Grove, who was not aware that this was being done, and we tracked it back to Neptune Township Public Works Department, who hired a subcontractor to do landscaping work for them, and apparently gave them no direction, just said, you see grass, cut it, and they cut our rain garden. So I found out today, Steve has some very, very serious technical issues with regards to the damage done to the basin, not just the vegetative damage, but the fact that we took our time when we constructed this to keep it uncompacted, I'll say, for lack of a better word. You keep it so that the soils in the base of the basin absorb water and allow water to be infiltrated into the sand layer below and then into the storm drainage pipes to go into the lake. And that's not going to be the case anymore. So I would like, I think Don may have done this already. I was going to ask tonight to be authorized to contact Neptune Township and see what they could do for us to remedy the situation. You know, the cost of the plantings was about $5,000. That's not the cost of removing them, restoring the subgrade and replanting them. So that would be considerably more.
I mean, I'm okay with this, Pete. I mean, do we have to, Hunt, do we have to make a motion or not?
What is it you want to do? Write a letter?
I don't think so.
No, he's gonna call
I don't
No,
think,
I want to call the CFO.
And
I'm
You-
pretty sure Gail has already done it. Gail
What's that?
spoke to him a month ago, and obviously, unfortunately, they have not listened. So the information did not get down to the grass cutting guy. I also recommended that the commission, Wesley Lake Commission, put some signs up and put do not cut the rain garden.
wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the rain.
But
there's
that's
a
not, we're not
garden.
putting them up in public.
Yeah, there's a garden right next to the lake, and they haven't touched that. It's pretty, it's pretty well grown, and it's well documented. You know, with the guy's got a sign out there, and
Yeah,
well documented. It's a garden.
I've seen that, right.
Yeah.
So that, like Peter pointed out, I mean, they may need to go in and renovate those soils, uncompact them, and probably add some additional, organic material.
Do we want to wait though, Steve? Do we want to see how it works in the spring, and then if it doesn't come back, then we attack, or we say it may need this.
Yeah,
We'll see how it grows back in the spring, but they got to stop cutting it.
yeah, I mean, it's getting a little bit late in the growing season, and I don't even know if there would be, the availability of these plants, if they're available from the nurseries at this point.
You'll never get them now, Steve, because of the time we had to wait for them
Yeah,
when they were planted.
I know.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't go to
Yeah.
Home Depot and get them, so. I think that would make sense. Wait until, but put them on notice, like Peter was saying, and then at that point, yeah, we gotta say that we'll re-inspect them in the spring, and they're gonna be responsible for planting them and renovating the soils to our specifications, and then we can, dictate how that needs to be done if we don't see growth.
We have very good pictures, by the way, of the garden growing. So
Yeah.
Steve, did they know how to do that at Neptune? I mean, you're talking about the Department of Public Works doing it? Or who would be doing it?
they would probably have to hire someone, I would assume.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Let's leave that. Let's let that lie for a couple
Yeah.
months.
There are a couple things we could do. We could ask the contractor to go after the insurance company. We could go after the bonding company. You don't want to go after the contractor. He had nothing to do with it.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
This is, for 8 months, we spent creating a maintenance document. So you want to talk about somebody that's pissed off? It's me. 8 months with Ocean Grove. Neptune was invited.
Yeah.
We went there. We took our time. So Ocean Grove knew about it. So who came in and did this work? It was, initially I thought it was Neptune's Public Works Department. And then I was told today that they actually didn't have enough manpower to do the work, and they hired a subcontractor. And I don't want to talk about that because you may need more than one sign if you put signs up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we?
You could laugh at that one if you
So
want.
we'll notify Peter. Let's notify Neptune. Go ahead and notify
Yeah.
Neptune,
Right.
Definitely.
and we'll just get
Okay, all right.
prepare them for the worst
Right.
and hope for the best. And hope for the
And
best.
there's example signage at the golf course. So, at William F.
Okay.
Larkin Golf Course, those basins that, Peter.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's, those
You're
are all
right.
posts that do not mow, blah, blah, blah. So anyhow,
I'll take a picture. I'll go over and get a picture of them and I'll send them to, the Westerly Lake Commission so they can get them made up.
yeah, I can probably send you a I'll look for it while
Oh.
we're meeting, but
Okay, thanks. Okay, the other update, Pete, you got the tree box, right? Tree boxes?
I certainly do. Tony and his wife are on vacation now. We contacted the contractor today. Not sure when the Filterra box is going to be installed in Allenhurst, but we will know within a week to 10 days, and we will let you know.
Okay. Okay, and
They have been paid.
Allenhurst is aware.
That's a
of it, right?
question.
I'm sorry?
Allenhurst is aware.
Okay.
What, of the tree box going
Oh, the
in?
tree box. I think so, right?
Everyone's been advised.
I know. We've been
I mean,
talking.
is that not the commissioner's responsibility to talk to his town? Or do you want me to go and talk to the
No,
town?
I think we've
Dave?
been talking about it for a while. I think they know. I guess when they start going in with the equipment, they're gonna have to notify whoever, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, thanks, Pete.
Sure, thank you.
The shoreline protection, we're still working that. I noticed that the same folks that are dealing with us are trying to deal with Lake, are also dealing with Point Pleasant, and they're dealing with Ocean Grove on beach access. I noticed Mr. Clark's name in those letters that were sent to the town. So hopefully at the beginning of when the summer's, now that summer's over, we'll be getting some response to my letter to them or email to them. So I'm hoping we get together soon.
Remind everybody that when we had the meeting, the last meeting that we had with NJDEP, we were told that, and then in his follow-up letter, Mr. Clark said that once he had his team together, and because they lost 3 people, and it takes a while for those people once to get hired and then to get trained for enforcement. So he said once he had those people in place, they'd be able to.
It's going to be more than him. It's going to be more than enforcement. We're going to have to get the land use people involved. We have to have a group meeting, and it's I want Peter involved this time with Steve, and we really got to sit down with them and find out what's going on. They should be treating Deal Lake differently. We should have one representative from the on the not necessarily enforcement side, definitely on the land use side. We shouldn't be using different towns because the lake is the lake. Deal Lake, it doesn't matter if you're Ocean, Neptune, Lock Harbor, it's all the same. And they shouldn't be mixing people up. And they're giving different answers to different people. And that's the biggest problem. All right, we'll keep on that, and we'll hopefully report more next month. We have reports on Goose. We have, where is
Did you get a report?
there? Oh, there's Jesse. Right below me.
Did you get a report?
I did not. I did
Okay, I
not.
did get the
Jeannie,
bill.
did you get a report yet?
No, I didn't either. I wrote.
Yeah, I did get the bill,
We got
and I'll
the,
be sending out, the bill was about $300 less. It was $3,624.76. So I will be sending out the bills, and I'll send a copy to all the commissioners. Do you want to know how much each
no,
municipality?
no, it's all right. We'll
I
send it.
do. I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to
So-
read them? Okay, go ahead. You got them figured out?
Allenhurst will, I'm sorry? Allenhurst will be $199.37. Asbury Park will be $797.45. Deal will be $126.87. Interlaken will be $724.96. Lock Harbor, $271.86. Neptune, $72.50. And Ocean, $1,431.75,
Okay.
which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Because I think Ocean was paying what, Don? 6,000 a year?
I think they're well over 2,000, that's for sure.
Yeah, well over 2,000.
Well over 2,000.
And she didn't send a report, Jesse? She didn't-
No, just the bill. Just the bill.
I asked for a report too, and I
I'm
think
sure
Yeah.
that's coming next, so, but that's good news.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Yeah, that's not bad. It was, originally we thought it would be 3,900, so that's pretty good.
Right, and the goose material that was placed on the locations in Asbury, Allenhurst, and Ocean, it did really well. I mean, I think the goose tried to avoid those areas. I saw geese, but they didn't stay there long. Unfortunately, other towns, I see a lot of geese. Interlake, and unfortunately, I see a ton. And there was a section where was it in Asbury in Sunset Park. I saw in the new park section, not the lake, but the new park section. But it's really beautiful. There was a ton of geese in there today, and I'm not sure why, because they do have geese chasers, right? So just
Yeah.
want to mention that, Jeannie. So, okay, but that's great. Thanks. Restoration of the Four Lakes. I know Ocean's working on Fireman's Pond. You know, they got the group together on the Lollipop Pond, and they also have the and then Terrace Pond. We're working with. They have one little section they're going to dredge, and hopefully we're going to be taking care of a large section during our stormwater project in Seaview. So that's the updates on the lakes, on those lakes. Water testing. USGS has been on scene right before See Here Now. I saw them in action right by the flume. They have multiple locations throughout the lake, and they actually moved west towards 35 with their study. And that's an extensive study. They're working with Monmouth University on, but mostly they're gathering their own data, and they'll be reporting back. I assume sometime this winter we'll get a report. So that's pretty exciting stuff. But it's a much more comprehensive testing regimen than anyone else has done. So it'll be very interesting to see what the results are. That's all blue-green algae.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
That's also, there are 12 testing sites on Deer Lake.
Right. For
Yeah.
the CloNet guys, right.
So now,
This is in addition to that. This is, yeah.
is that the people with that big machine? Is that
No, this is ones they have some chains attached to the flume off to the south side. They're marked U.S. government property, do not touch. And they have another one that's inside the surge chamber that's dangling in the surge chamber. So, and they have other sites, like I said, west of that, but there's two I know of.
and so that's blue-green algae testing that they're doing?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep. And I think they're also testing Sunset, I believe. But that's, and I saw a couple of CloNet. I saw Jeff one day doing the testing in Lock Harbor, and he gave me a little rundown how he was doing. But overall, we never had I don't think we had a bloom, Steve. I think we had no major blooms. It looked bad. The water was green, but we had no abs,
Right,
as far as I know.
right. And that was based also on DEP flyovers and inspection. So, you know, they're, so yeah, based on the, you know, on the DEP data, no, there were no HABs this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know other lakes have had them, so.
Plenty of them.
Yep, and we're lucky. I think Sunset had one. Sunset had a call. I heard it on the news one day. I don't know if it was Sunset Lake, Asbury, or somewhere else, but they said Sunset Lake. Okay, let's keep moving. The new grant, the new DEP grant, Stormwater Management Grant. Peter's team and myself went over there and did a little walkthrough a couple of weeks ago before the wedding event. And we had a nice walkthrough and went over the plans they had before done. And Peter, you want to go over those a little bit with everyone?
Sure, we have updated the plan to have a concept plan. I don't think I'm ready to talk about it yet. Matt and I are going over it still, but we will talk about it, show you the 4 bays, the basins that we're proposing. Don had a couple ideas about bringing additional runoff from the property into the area, so you treat it before it gets to the lake. So there are a lot of good things that are going to come out of this, but we'll be ready to share that with everyone soon and talk about it. Maybe we should have, so if we're together soon in
Okay.
Interlake, it'll be
Yeah.
a lot easier. The other thing that I was concerned with, that I discussed with Matt today, was the timing of the project and the reporting of the project. Our understanding is that it is a quarterly report for the status of the project as well as the financial aspect of the project. So we'll be working, our office, with Steve, with Jesse, I guess with the CFO.
Yeah.
To make sure every quarter we have an update on the project scope, the
Right.
project status, and the project finances.
Okay. And Chris is still working the 319, I believe, with your guys. He's getting data from them and he's putting it together for, it's not a lot, but we're trying to wrap that up now.
For the other,
Yep. For the 319 grant.
yeah. But this
So
one
you're
is
gonna be-
different.
You're going to be doing the stormwater management grant, is that correct?
Yeah, we have to. Don't want to, we'll have to. Yeah,
Got it.
I know. That's an all-knowing Jesse laugh. That
Yeah.
it's really not funny, everyone, but we'll get through it. I mean, all you have to do is say, when did you submit the
Oh.
first request for reimbursement of work that was done, 8 months ago or however long ago it was done?
So to make everybody feel better,
And we're still
Steve was on, and I were on a Lakes Committee meeting for the NJ Plans, New Jersey Public Lakes Association. And all the other lakes are having the same problems we are, getting payments, getting approvals, getting the stormwater management grant. We just got approval for expending money. They're all having the same issue, right, Steve?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're in the same camp. It hasn't changed anything.
help. Yeah,
Our biggest issue right now is finding that, was it UTC? What was it, Jesse? I always forget.
That number.
It's a 3-digit code that we got to get from the federal government.
I don't know where Ricky's having the hardest time.
I know. So we're trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have maybe a government shutdown in 2 weeks. So
Oh,
that'll that'll add more time.
no.
So, but anyway, we did get permission to move ahead on that project. So that's good news. Okay. Any questions on that for Peter?
we'll keep in touch. This will be a good one because we will keep it a public project because we have so much time. Every time we have a little incremental change in the scope or a direction in the scope of work, we'll be able to share it with everyone and discuss it at our meeting. To me, it'll be easier if it's done at Interlake and at a meeting where we're face to face.
Yeah, maybe December meeting. We'll talk. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but maybe the December meeting we can do.
Yeah, let's do this.
So,
Yeah. Okay,
let me
we're
move
ready
on.
now and we're moving.
We missed one on the old business. The
What
cleanup.
was it?
The
Oh, the
cleanup.
cleanup. Right.
Yeah. So that's our new number 7 you can put in there.
Okay.
That's October 21st. We're scheduled with the Monmouth County folks, and we got Monmouth University helping out, and it seems like a lot of groups around the lake want to help out at their particular location. So that's awesome. Sunset Lake is doing their own thing 2 weeks before, I believe. So they'll be all cleaned up. I hope we might take a run by just in case if we have some extra folks. But hopefully let's pray for good weather. If not, we'll move it to Sunday or whatever, if we can.
And I sent away for the lake lowering permit.
Oh, good. Okay.
John, do you want to post that as the rain date, October 22nd?
I'm not going to post it yet because I said it and I'm regretting I said it because Monmouth University sometimes reschedules the event to another Saturday. So I got to find out from them if there's a rain date. So I'll ask them because I like to coordinate with them.
All right, let me know.
Okay. It's nice to have 100 people, right?
Yeah.
Extra people. I think that's it for old business other than new business. We have 2 things, a whole bunch of things actually that came up. I get it to you. I think most of you guys got emails from 2 individuals.
Do you want to vote on the 2 you want to do the 2 resolutions first and then?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
sure.
first one is to authorize me to advertise for the fall cleanup in an amount not to exceed 400. We usually do this every year. So we
Okay.
can advertise in the papers. Someone offer?
I'll offer.
Second?
Second,
Thank you. Is that Bruce?
Hello, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
Snuck in.
Aye,
Allenhurst,
yes,
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Loch Arbor,
yes,
and Ocean.
Yes.
The next one is authorizing the commission chairman to purchase supplies for the 2023 Duluth Fall Cleanup in an amount not to exceed 400. Someone offer?
I'll offer.
Second,
second,
Allenhurst,
yes,
Asbury Park,
Yes.
Interlaken,
Yes.
Loch Arbor,
yes.
and Ocean.
Yes.
Everyone sounds so blue.
I'm worn out.
Everyone sounds.
Summer's over.
Summer's
It's
over.
true.
Hey, John, before you move on, real quick, in the chat, I put a example sign for the
Oh.
rain garden.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
and also if anybody wants to track where there's harmful algae blooms statewide, I provided a link to the DEP dashboard. And Sunset did have a bloom in May, but nothing after that. So we did pretty well.
Naturalized storm basin. Look at it. Stormwater basin, do not mow. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think those signs were made for Princeton Hydro by the sign maker right there in Asbury Park, if I remember correctly.
Okay. I'll
'Cause
I'll
they
talk
had-
to him.
I had a whole bunch of them made up at once. So, yeah, check with them.
Do you guys want to just add it to the, can we add that to the grant?
Well, you're supposed to have signage.
I
Okay.
guess I'll show it to the Yes Graphic guy
Yeah,
and get a bill. So you want to authorize, it can't be more than $200.
yeah, I forget what they were, but I mean, they're.
cheap.
But if
they're
it's
metal-
part of if it's part of the grant,
Yeah,
you just do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, weren't you talking about signs for Wesley Lake?
Well, if we can do it as part of the grant, we'll get them. Right. Yes, the answer is yes.
yeah, for the rain gardens, so
Oh,
that.
we
people-
can
they wouldn't get
save
mowed.
them.
Right,
Because we might have extra rain gardens down the road at our next project.
right.
So we'll just get extra. They're going to be small. They're going to be maybe
Right.
a foot by 6 inches or a foot by,
Well, they're like the
Maybe.
size of a manila envelope, basically.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like the ones in the golf course, that size. you
Yeah,
mean? Yeah.
yeah, similar to that. And I think Asbury Park has them in the rain garden that's by the bus station.
Yep,
Yep.
they do.
Yeah.
So similar, just like that.
okay. I'll
Thanks. Steve.
use, Peter gave me a couple good ideas before, so I'll use those also.
Is that what the
Okay.
the party? Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's a culture of.
Who's
it's a
talking?
culture-
Is somebody,
It's a culture that he has seen all across this country.
there's a
and
TV on somewhere.
For all
Right.
things.
Okay.
Okay. Next subject, Zoom. Yeah, I was gonna try that Zoom, that test Zoom at Interlake Town Hall. I was worn out, so I didn't get to it. But I was thinking of doing it, testing it next week, going over with maybe Jesse and
Yeah, I'll try it.
maybe Carol and just see how it works out. We'll set up a virtual, a
Yeah.
hybrid, I'm sorry, hybrid system. And we'll see how it works. And we'll see if we get the TV working and see how it all fits. And then maybe we could have the December meeting in person.
We just are.
Because that then Peter has the opportunity to present the stormwater grant information to us in person, which would be nice. And then I guess
We're actually,
I
remember,
I personally like Zoom. I do think it's important to see each other once in a while. So maybe a combination of maybe 2 or 3 or 4 Zoom in-persons and the rest Zooms. But that's my ideas. I mean, anybody else have any thoughts?
Don, our
But it-
meeting is November 30th this year, because remember there was a conflict with Hanukkah.
Oh, wow.
So our
Mm.
meeting is November 30th.
It's not December.
No, We have no meeting in December. Remember, we didn't have one in November, but because of the holidays, we're now going to do the last week. We could make November 30th.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I missed that.
You were at the meeting?
I know, but I forgot that.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
There's a
That was
lot.
thanks to Margot pointing that out. Thank you.
Wow, that's good, Margot. Um,
There are a
what
lot,
about-
there are a
well,
lot of,
the October meeting's still on, right? Same day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
this is the October meeting.
No, this is September.
No, September.
Oh. Boy, I'm terrible too. All right, never mind.
It must be the altitude.
We can edit that out. Okay, the
Yeah,
altitude.
I should be back. I'll be in New York that day, but I'll be back. Okay. Any other thoughts on Zoom or?
My suggestion, Don, and I made that to you already, is, Ken has offered to meet with you to go over that. That's what he does for a living. So it's those teleconferences and Zoom conferences,
Okay.
for educational reasons. So
I'll give him a call. I mean, like I said, I was swamped today, this week, so I didn't get to it. But we can get him on board. Sure.
That would be a good thing.
Yeah, I'll give you a call, Ken, the day just keep, you don't have to be there the whole time if you don't want to be. I mean, but you can help me
Yeah.
set up,
Just
see how
come
it
and get the
works.
lay of the land, see what things
Yeah,
look like.
yeah. You haven't been there in a while, right?
Yeah, I still remember generally what it was like, but we'll look at it again.
Okay. See if we get I'll try to get the Wi-Fi code, make sure it works before that day happens. Okay. Any other discussion on Zoom or any other thoughts?
Well,
When
you'll
do-
still,
Think-
go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
on.
go ahead, Margaret. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
but say you're having it in person, if a member cannot attend or is,
You're
away,
away.
you can still always or use Zoom to attend, right?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
that's
sure,
the idea.
definitely.
That's the
Okay.
that's the idea of the hybrid meeting.
Yeah.
Mark was
And
both.
that just, he said,
Uh-oh.
we're going to do it in person, and I thought he meant we had to be there in person.
I mean, I'm away a bunch, 2 or 3 meetings, I'm away.
It's very,
Yeah.
very helpful sometimes to just be able to.
Yes, especially in the winter when it's freezing cold or it's raining. Yep.
But for the future, I mean,
Or one of the members is in Florida.
Right.
Lucky
Or
might-
Mexico.
gotta fly back.
It's a lot easier at times too to show things on a screen this way than.
Oh,
I mean, we
without a
can
doubt.
do it on the big screen in the building, but then I don't know how well it's going to be seen by the public. That's it. That's my question. Or from a commissioner who's at home watching it on Zoom, will they see that big screen? And does everybody need to bring their laptop to the meeting who's attending the meeting, which is okay with me, but
Yeah, they should be able to see the TV, and that should tell you the story. And that
they should be able, the
They do
public,
whoever's
They
at
do
the
it with
meeting
planning board
should-
meetings, they show the maps and everything, right, Peter? At planning board meetings, they show the maps.
but they're set up for that. Like Asbury Park has it set up for hybrid type situations. So yeah, you can
Well, we'll
have cameras, microphones,
we'll
and
give it a shot. We'll give it a shot next month and see how it works out. So,
Yep.
Anyway, and you guys don't have to come. I'm not. I'll torture myself in there, and Jesse and whatever.
I'll go.
Whoever wants to come, come. I'm not going to advertise. I'm not going to advertise for public to be there. It's just us testing it out. So
Yeah.
that's that. They can surely come to the Zoom session. So,
Yeah.
the security. I just have little notes here for myself here. I'm looking down here. Sorry, upcoming storm. Oh, upcoming storm. So I'm on track for opening up the lake sometime tomorrow afternoon after high tide. It looks at least a 3-inch storm of what I'm seeing. It could change. And we can talk
Ophelia,
about it.
right?
What's that?
I think it's Ophelia. Is that the name?
Is that
I
the
believe
name?
it is. I believe it is.
Yeah. So we'll take care of her. I guess it's a her, right?
Yes.
But we'll open up the lake, and I talked to Asbury already about, they called me about Sunset, and I said, go ahead, if you want to open it, open Sunset. So we'll have more green water tomorrow. It'll be looking like the Bubble Land, the boat land at Bubble Land there. And the kayak, the Deal Lake Watershed Alliance is having their kayaking event on September 24th, 9 to 11 at the boat ramp. So great event. It's on our website. I believe we have it on our Facebook page too. So come on out. I might even go on that one. That's I haven't gone on any yet. So I think I'm going to try to get to that one with my wife. So any other new business?
Well, I had just a question. I had asked, I don't know if this is, I had asked Hunt to, about the letter to the Attorney General regarding the request, and if you had looked into that at all, or I asked if it was too late to still send a letter for them to enforce the Clean Water Act.
Huh?
Well, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yeah, we
can.
got it.
Doing this on the phone. It's the first time I've done this, so I have no idea how this is working. I did look into it. It's 5 years from the event is the statute of limitations on the Clean Water Act. So
Okay.
there were two events. I'm on the road, so I don't have it in front of me, but there were two different events. So you have to look at the dates for those events. But those were included in the letter that did go out to the offender.
Nobility Crest,
Not Billy.
Amboy Bank, I guess.
Right. Correct. But it's 5 years.
Right. So we had, as a commission, voted to send a letter to the Attorney General to enforce the Clean Water Act. So I don't think it's been 5 years yet. Can we still go ahead and do that? And so your answer is yes. Or
But
do
we have already went through this, and I believe we all sat down after that discussion and changed that decision. And we decided to talk directly and send a letter to Amboy Bank and Nobility Crest, which we did. So, because there was no way, I think Steve and Peter gave us the professional opinion that there was no way to tell how much sediment went into the lake and the actual damage, because we stopped it pretty quickly. We stopped it within hours of it happening.
Right, I understand that. I wasn't talking about starting a legal challenge or suing them. I was talking about in the letter that we were going to write, and I think that was what Hunt recommended that we do, was write a letter to the Attorney General to enforce the Clean Water Act, to have them enforce the Clean Water Act. We're not suing them or anything, but because of of what they were responsible for that damage. Whether we don't know how much it was, but it doesn't really matter. That we can still request that they that the Attorney General enforce the Clean Water Act. That was.
What do you mean by that? Enforce the Clean Water Act. You keep saying it, but what do you mean by that?
They violated the Clean Water Act by not doing what they were supposed to do at their construction site.
So are you saying that you want the Attorney General to cite them for a violation? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I think you suggested that we write a letter, that's what we could do, was to write a letter to the Attorney General requesting that he enforce the Clean Water Act in terms of the offense, the violations of Nobility Crest had committed, and that would be coming from the commission.
I think that we had a discussion subsequently about the burden of proof and the quantitative data that would be required to back that up.
I don't know. Is there? I don't think there was any. We're just writing a letter and asking them to do that. In terms of, we're not taking them to court. That's a different thing. And I think everyone was agreed that that would be really expensive and very onerous for us to do that. But to ask, and I think you can clarify that for us, Hunt. I believe that was your recommendation, right? And that's why we voted on it, to ask the Attorney General to enforce the Clean Water Act. because they had violated the Clean Water Act.
We changed that whole decision. Months later or weeks later, as months later, I guess, we changed that and we went to the direction because Hunt was working on a letter for months. And we decided that he couldn't go any further. And we decided we're just going to write a letter to the Ability Crest and the Amboy Bank. And we did that. We have discussions going.
And what's
And you got to remember, now we're in a situation that the Ability Crest and Cedar Village, the Lake Commission, and many others are fighting another battle. And that's a battle right next to them. That's even going to be more detrimental to the lake. And that's the building of this this project over in.
That's another issue. I'm just talking.
Well, it's a big issue. So
I didn't say it isn't. I just said that that's a different issue than Nobility Crest. And
I personally don't want to go to battle with them. I mean, I think they quickly solved the problem. We're working with them on a longer term solution to improve the stormwater management up there above 18, which is west of 18. And I hope we can have a resolution to that.
Would you
going to war with them to the Attorney General, I didn't think it was appropriate.
Yeah, if I'm understanding what Hunt said correctly, was that in order for the DEP or the state attorney general to do anything, there has to be an establishment of how much of a discharge there was in order to trigger the Clean Water Act violation.
Right.
The de minimis discharge is not going to do that. So if that's the situation, then writing the letter would really not do any good. It would only create antipathy and animosity that we may not need to create. That's what I understood it to. I think that's what Don's trying to express.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hunt, could you explain that, please?
Let me just put it this way. The Clean Water Act requires, as a prerequisite for filing suit, that you notify the Attorney General of the cause of action. That's what that letter was intended to be.
Right. That's how I understood it. You're
It wasn't a request that they do anything. It was simply putting them on notice of our intent to file suit under the Clean.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that part. All right. Thank you.
And then it evolved because at the time the township offices were closed.
Right.
So I couldn't get the information about the anything related to the violation or anything related to the stormwater management agreement with the developer. I couldn't get any of that stuff, and for months, over a year. Some of it I still don't know how. They still can't produce it. So trying to get to that with that letter, it just didn't go. So what we did was it evolved into a letter directly to Nobility Crest, advising them that and making their owner at the time, Amboy Bank, aware that this situation existed, and they came to the table and it proceeded from there. But as far as the letter itself that we talked about initially, it was simply a prerequisite letter to the Attorney General advising of the intent of the event itself, which is required before you can file suit under the Clean Water Act.
So what has happened with Nobility Crest since then? What are they doing to make up for the damage that they caused to the lake, Don?
Work with them on trying to work with Cedar Village on changing their dam structure, their pond structure, so it can hold more water. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, and then what they did do immediately, or pretty quickly, was they did put in some additional sediment control measures. So they had like these sediment socks that were erected in front of the dam, and they were using that to collect or like treat any of that turbid water before it went down into Deal Lake. I mean, the problem was it was obviously very, very brown. It was looked like coffee, but it's a fine sediment. And as Peter and I had, reported back, because it's colloidal, it's this really fine clay that just it's floating at the surface. So it looks really bad. It's nothing that we want. But in terms of saying, okay, that, resulted in like an additional 3 inches of sediment accumulation, that's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to, to document something like that because it's just such fine material. It resists settling, and that's why it has to be filtered, before that water leaves the, those retention ponds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, guys, I think we're going to move on here. But I think the question was answered. You may not like it, but I think Hunt answered.
Thank you for staying on it, Jeannie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody's, looking into it, and Hunt too, and also for the explanation. I don't know. It just makes me always concerned that, these things can go on with any number of developers. And I would like to know that, we can do something about it when it happens.
Well, the key thing is we got to keep our eyes open. We're
Right.
going to have heavy rain on Saturday. Keep your eyes on the west section of the lake for sediment coming in. And if you see something, go drive around and try to find it. I've done it, and this is how we caught that one. We didn't know where it was coming from. We went right up there and found it.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me getting in a car and going up. We would never found it.
Right.
So, and there's a couple other people that found it too. So we all found it at the same time.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of them right on by Wegmans. There's a big construction project. I'm fearful of that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple others going on that we have to be, caught, have eye on. The good news is the Coke plant has been spectacular. I haven't seen any sedimentation coming from the Coke plant at all. So Neptune's done a great job keeping track of that. Like, I think Mr. Avakian's involved with that. So that's been awesome.
And it was useful too, because in the beginning, we paid Steve to give recommendations that they followed. And so, those kind of things, these are important, and I'm glad that we do them.
But there's one that I told the environmental commission in town about. It's up by Wegmans, and the sediment fence looks fine, but there's a lot of dirt back there. So I'm just hoping it can hold up in this storm coming up on Friday or Saturday. Okay. I think I'm done with any more.
I just
new
got
business?
a quick new business thing. So this year, the North American Lake Management Society, the annual meeting is going to be in Erie, Pennsylvania. So this will probably be the last time in about 5 years that it will be in our area. So that's the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of October in beautiful Erie, Pennsylvania. I am doing a presentation on the morning of the 23rd on Deal Lake and all the stormwater projects that we've been conducting, and, basically showing that how we've been using a combination of green infrastructure and green-gray hybrid infrastructure to reduce pollutant loading to the lake. So NOMS conference, 23rd, 24th, 25th in beautiful Erie, Pennsylvania. And, after I haven't finished the presentation yet, but once I do have it finished, I'll obviously pass it on to the commission, and you guys can upload it to the website.
All right.
I'll
Good
be
luck.
Fort Rucker.
Congratulations and good luck with that.
This is something you're doing as a consultant, correct?
Yeah, this is on my own time.
Yeah. All right.
I'm doing 2 other papers, and I'm, I've got some other things that I'm, volunteering for. So
Okay.
yeah, this is I don't want to call it a hobby, because then it would make me sound like a real geek, but it's on my own time.
Okay.
And on my own dime.
Yeah. I just want.
It's a hobby, geek.
Yeah, we all know you're a geek, Steve.
Yeah. I just want to go back to 2 things. I
It
don't
does
think
give me a chance to drive my Mustang Mach 1 all the way out to Erie, Pennsylvania. So
There you go.
Only if the weather's good.
that's
They'll
true.
be watching for you. Those policemen will be
True.
watching. So the 2 things I think I mentioned that we had 2 emails coming in. Eli Sutton was talking about dredging on Harvey Brook, and I'm going to talk to him about what we've done there and what we plan to do, and send a check basically, and we can do it. But basically, we got to correct the problems at Harvey Brook before we do anything dredging in that area. And the other one was about Arbor Manor, which we were talking about. I'm not sure I fully mentioned that. They're looking for support on Arbor Manor. I'm going to go back to them and ask them to keep us involved and keep us in touch with the meeting dates on those. I do not know the meeting dates on Arbor Manor. They're appealing the ruling that the planning board had that voted it down. And that's that project on Route 66 next to Cedar Village and Nobility Crest. So, okay.
I'm glad you brought that up, Don, because those emails, I'm not getting them, and I don't know who else is not getting. It's hard to ask who is not getting the emails.
Let me ask. Carol, are you getting them?
No.
No. Who else? Peter might be getting them. Peter should be getting them. Steve might be getting them.
These are Peter's not on that list.
No. Have a Bruce. Not everybody's on them.
Yeah,
Bruce-
I haven't seen any emails.
Okay.
Getting them either.
I'm looking at the email right now. Hold on. Eric's on there.
Well, it's just a problem.
Margot's on there. Margot,
Right.
hold on 1 second, Gene.
Oh, I'm
Margot,
sorry.
you getting emails?
Mhm.
She is. Margot's getting them.
From the server,
I'm looking at the list. Steve, are you getting emails from the website?
Yeah, I am.
You are.
Yeah.
Jesse, are you getting them?
Not all of them.
Okay. You get some.
Sporadically, yep.
Okay. I get them. I definitely get them.
I saw the one from Mr. Sutton, but not the one about Arbor Manor.
Okay. And that's it. So Jeannie and who else? Carol, you're on the list, Carol.
I'm not getting any of them.
Did you block that? Did you block our?
Yeah, I blocked it, Don.
it's a problem. Kenny was going to do that.
But some of us are getting them. So
All
you know,
right.
we could pass them along. And
I used to.
Well,
I used to get them, but I don't
here's
anymore.
my suggestion. I have a suggestion, and,
Sure.
and it costs a little bit of money, but really the best way to go is to have domain-based email. People send stuff to deallake.org. It's more professional. GoDaddy offers a setup where you can have it's basically Office 365. It's Microsoft 365 email. And it basically has an account, but you can have 400 aliases on the account. So you could have, say, for example, have like an info@deallake.org. You could even go to the commissioner level if you wanted to. So you have that type of power. Because what I've been finding with a lot of form-based email is that a lot of these entities, Google, everybody, they've really tightened up on security and how things come into their system. And I think that's probably a big part of it. So unify the email using using Microsoft 365, and the current form that's on the site can just point to that too, just as an added catch-all.
You want to get that estimate together for our next meeting, Ken? And
Yeah. I actually have just a brief, quick. Let's see.
because I know we have a deallake.org, I believe. We have emails. And the problem was we started getting junk emails. We started getting hundreds of emails.
Yeah, well, that's
why we went
part
to
of
the comment.
the thing about having domain-based email, spam checkers, all that type of stuff is like built into that. So this is basically I'm on the GoDaddy page, and this is what I'm looking at, the 365 email essentials. It looks like let's see, if you get it per year, it looks like it's about, it looks like it's like $25 a year, it looks like. So here's the features you get. You get domain-based email, storage for your contacts. You can have calendars set up, which is probably not a bad thing to have. Data security, sync across devices if you're into that sort of thing. Shared online calendars, the email aliases. So you're getting a fair amount of stuff for this $25 a year, and it's real emails coming from an organization.
And if I have that right, Ken, from what you told me, for instance, let's say I wanted to have one of those alias would be, say, Carolyn's not able to get this, so she would be Interlaken or Interlaken Commissioner at deallake.org, right?
Yeah, whatever way
DLC
you
Interlake.
decided to be done.
Commissioner, OT Commissioner at OTDLC Commissioner. However, we would set something where each if we wanted to, each commissioner would have their own email. And then we would have a deallake.org, which would serve what we're doing now, instead of having people directing people to that page.
How do I get that, Ken? How do I read that particular email?
Do you have like an email client? Like, what do you use? Do you use Outlook, something like that?
I use Outlook.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Outlook, you should be able to have that as as an account that you check. It will show up as a separate mailbox.
It would be a separate mail. Well,
How about Gmail, Ken?
Gmail, I mean, Gmail is kind of its own thing. But once again, it's Gmail. It's not domain based. It's not deallake.org. It's Gmail.
So we would have a separate just for Deal Lake Commission emails, right? And
Right,
that
it'd be per person, however
yeah,
you decided to do it.
yeah, I think we already have the email address, I believe. GoDaddy.
So that's my suggestion. And while I'm on the subject of web-based stuff, I've been looking into some stuff as far as like the flume cameras go, because I know there have been inquiries from public entities about being able to access those cameras, so on and so forth. And I was actually gonna do a little bit of a demo of some stuff that I found, in terms of like, data rates and, bandwidth and, getting throttled if you go over your account. And unfortunately, I was not even able to get into the cameras, the way I usually do. So I have to look into that.
Okay.
But there's a fair amount of things that, I mean, you could literally offer, if I could get into the system the way I usually did, a public entity could get in today. I basically have it down to where it's a QR code. You can scan the QR code with your camera and be able to see it. So a public entity could have that, but the drawback is you don't want somebody to just park that thing on and just run it, because the bandwidth gets sucked up, then we get throttled, and then we experience that.
Yeah, we can't
you
afford that
even
during an
get in.
emergency. We got to be able to see the water moving.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
that's the key.
Yeah. So really, one of the biggest issues is being able to have an automatic timeout, which I don't think I don't have access to the actual hardware to be able to see if there's a parameter that can be set.
And Ken, I could talk to our guy. He's going to be coming out there in a couple of weeks to look at things. I could ask him about that and get you on the phone and do a conference call with you.
But getting back to, though, Ken, to the email, I don't know, how does the commission feel about doing that?
Let's do it. Let's make a motion to do it.
It's not a lot of money.
Ken, is it $25 a year approximately?
Yeah, it's approximately $25 a year.
Yeah, well, let's not do away with what we got now. Let's test this out and go for it.
Yeah, it actually looks like
we got to make a motion. I'll make a motion.
I'll just say that the terms that I'm looking at say it would renew. If you bought it today, it would renew in September 2024 at $5.99 a month for a total of $71. But still, that's like really nothing.
I guess I make a motion not to exceed $100 for the domain names for the email.
Ken, you'd have to set it up for us, right?
Yeah, I'd have to set it up.
So
I think it should be set up so that it should be by town and the commissioner, and then that way the alternate for each commissioner can also have access to it.
Sounds fair.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, not a name that would.
Right.
You want it generic because people are going to come and go.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I guess you can tell us how much time you'd need to do that, Ken, so that, we can figure that in terms of.
Yeah.
Why don't you present, Kenny, just present it next month as a motion.
Sure will.
Okay?
I'll let you know what
thanks.
I came up with.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Okay.
So we're going to do that next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next month. Tell you what, let's switch things around.
Good idea. Good idea, though.
Let's open it. Let's go to the public right now. I'll switch format a little bit.
A motion to open the meeting to the public.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Anybody,
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
okay, anybody out there would like to say anything? Bob, go ahead, Bob. I see your hand
I'd like
raised.
to ask, I'd like to ask a question about,
Well, one second.
okay,
Hold on, Pat. Bob's first.
Yeah, real quick. Just on the Deer Lake Watershed Alliance paddle schedule for this weekend. We'd love to see you out there, Don, but I think we're not paddling this weekend. The weather is
I don't know why I thought it was the weekend after.
Yeah. It would be,
There'll be
well,
no
it might.
water.
That's our rain day. That's what. That's
Oh,
on it. So if we get rained out, we're going to do it on the next Sunday.
okay.
So
Okay.
October 1st. So look forward to
October
seeing
1st.
you. Information.
Got it. Thanks.
Could
All
you
right,
send
thanks.
me that, whatever you're sending out to people so I can put that on the website and include that in our email?
Yeah, definitely, Gene.
You just want to do that now, but make that decision, right? I think.
I'm going to wait till I'm waiting till Saturday to make that call.
So the paddle's on Sunday or Saturday?
Paddles on Sundays.
I'm just going to go down and watch you guys sing because
Okay, so
there probably will not be much water in the lake, by the way.
So paddle on Sunday,
yeah,
rain
dump it,
date
right?
October
Yeah, good
1st.
point.
Yeah.
Good point, Don. Yeah.
That's good though.
Okay.
Bob, thanks.
send
All
me
right,
anything that I need to put, that you want me to put out, Bob, okay? Would you do
Yeah, I'll
that?
send it to you. Yeah, you
Okay,
bet.
thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Pat, all
I had
yours.
I had a paddle date set up with a bunch of friends for tomorrow, and we've already canceled it.
Yep. Good thought.
Pat Hartman's ready to go. I think.
I'm just wondering, as a lake tester volunteer, if this goes all through the winter.
The testing?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It goes
Okay.
all through the winter. Yeah, you've been trained, right, in your testing? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. She didn't tell you that it goes through the winter.
I was just wondering if there was an end to this.
But
No?
I think it's only once a month in the winter, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay, well, that would be better.
Be careful what you
Sometimes you have to
volunteer
break the
for.
ice.
Is
Sometimes
that
you have to break.
is that true? It's really only once a month in the winter?
Yeah, I'll check with Erin, but I'm pretty sure it's once a month, Pat.
Okay,
Yeah, it's less in the winter than in the other seasons.
okay.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I
Anybody
have
else
your
out there?
address. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the information via my email. I'll tell you, okay?
Okay, great.
But,
Thank
hey,
you.
Pat, you should also have, you're in direct contact with the CloudNet folks, right?
That's who we were talking about. I said I'll ask Erin for her and find out. But if you want to contact Erin, do you have her address?
I have her email. I was just curious, so
Oh, okay. Yeah, write to her. I'm almost certain it's only once a month in the winter.
When you fall through the ice, give us a call. Okay. All right. I hope not.
No.
Anybody else out there? We got anybody else? Okay. Motion to
motion to
close
close the
public comment.
Sit.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Second.
Second.
All in
Thanks for
favor?
liking.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
A motion to adjourn the meeting?
Well, we didn't have a
So
last.
moved.
Well, hold on.
I
You're
have
jumping.
one.
Oh,
Are we
I
good?
know
Are we
it's
good?
coming.
Nobody needs commissioner minute or not? We're good with
I
that?
do. I do.
We do.
Okay.
Margot, commissioner minute. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that Jim Thomas from the Deal Lake Golf and Country Club, who is the master groundskeeper, would like to participate in some way on Deal Lake Commission, and I think he would be a wealth of knowledge. And he'd also like to, if he can't participate in it, he'd like to at least attend one meeting.
Sure. Yeah, you can join anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any meeting.
Just let me know. Just let me know which meeting.
Which meeting is good for you, and I'll tell him.
When did you
Probably
want
not
to-
when he's calm. Does he go on vacation in the winter or what happens?
No, he is a very busy person, but I mean, I told him it's only, like 1.5 hours a month.
It's probably February, probably a good time frame. I mean, he's probably calmed down by then. Everything's frozen, right?
You want him to participate in the February meeting?
You
Okay.
can ask him, sure.
Or not October?
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
If he's available in October, we can squeeze him in October.
okay. Okay.
He doesn't have to do
Yeah,
a presentation or anything, but
No, just once,
Yeah. October
on-
19th.
He's on Deal Lake and he's in Deal. So
Oh, okay.
a good,
Maybe
Man.
he'd like to be the Deal Lake
I was thinking that, right?
representative from Deal.
Does he live in Deal?
No, he
Oh.
lives in Tinton Falls.
Okay, thanks, Margaret.
Mhm.
And
You're
by the way,
welcome.
the garbage cans were clean today.
They were great. The garbage was not terrible this weekend.
Good.
No.
Well, I mean, it was terrible, but it was contained,
Yeah,
A lot of people.
manageable.
Oh my gosh.
Also, not a huge littering crowd, if you know what I mean. Like
True.
people more respectful than normal.
It's good to know.
They were-
We gave them
we probably had 150 cars in Interlaken
Yeah.
that were
Oh, really?
all walking over.
Wow.
Most I've ever seen.
They
Yeah.
gave him incentives if you picked up a big garbage pail, a big
got a
garbage bag
shirt.
full of baggage, you got a shirt. So
Yeah,
that was
they
good.
had-
Yep, it was a nice shirt too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Anybody else would like to talk? I'm done. I'm done talking.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
Down at the east end of the lake, the main lake, there's a giant stick sticking out of the lake. I don't know how shallow it's gotten, but maybe we need to redouble our efforts to figure a way to try to get dredging for that main part of the lake. Because it
Where
looks
is
like
that?
it's getting shallower and shallower all the time. from what I
Which
see.
section, Bruce?
Maybe I'm wrong.
And
The east section, way down the end, kind of, it's a little more towards the Lock Harbor side.
that
and
could have been
just-
Sophie's piano. I mean, that could be.
Always say that.
I know.
Yes,
It is shallow on the Lock Harbor side. It's only about a foot deep.
Oh, well, that's why
Yeah.
the stick is sticking out like that.
Yep, yep.
Anyway, it hasn't been dredged in a long time, and maybe we should set our sights on trying to get that done. I know how expensive it is and everything else, but it may be reaching a critical level. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe Steve knows more than I than about that, but just you just hate to see a stick sticking out of the lake that far because there's hardly any water under there if it is,
It's an old bulkhead, guys, and Don, when you lower the lake, you're going to see a bunch more sticks come out there. That thing
Yeah.
is rising up.
Oh, yeah.
See a lot.
Yeah, you'll see it big
We
time.
might, hey, Bruce, we could probably get it out of there. It might be a bigger stick than you think. So maybe it is 2 or 3 feet down.
It might be part of a tree.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
there's no trees around there though. It's hard to understand how
They
they
all
get.
drift. It all drifts down from your house.
Oh, it drifts down, huh?
Oh, it's amazing how much debris we get down the east end.
Boy, oh boy.
Are you finished with that? I wanted to ask a question about. So I was really glad to see the bridge at Wanamassa, the Wickapecka Bridge rather, that they finally smoothed that out and paved it. I know you spoke about that, Bob, and I had contacted the county, and I think also Dawn, you were in touch with Ocean Township, but after that woman fell over there on the bridge.
Yeah.
So but they did respond, and who ended up doing that work? Was it the county?
County.
Yeah,
But are they out of there yet? I still see pylons there. I think last time I went by.
Yeah, it's
Well,
clean.
the last thing I heard, I had written to them before you had said you were going to talk to Ocean Township, but and sent them pictures of that sidewalk because it was dangerous, and then as it turned out, somebody got hurt. But so I'm glad that they did it, but I think the last thing I heard was they were going to do some work on the, how there's one of those big posts are cracked and they've got like some wire wrapped around it or something to hold it together. I don't know, but I had sent pictures of that too, and maybe they're going to do that next.
Bridges are a mess. So it's
They are, but at least they fixed that because that was dangerous, and somebody got hurt because of it.
okay. Thanks, Gene.
So speaking of sticks sticking out of the water, what happens when a tree from someone's yard falls into the lake? Is it just left there?
It's left there unless it's a navigational hazard.
Right.
That's the answer.
It's really the homeowner's responsibility to remove it, but
It's a
we kind
town.
of take each one on an individual basis.
Well, Pat's been through a lot of this.
Yeah,
A lot of promises, a lot of inspections, and
Yeah.
Pretty soon there is not going to be any Deal Lake where I live because
Well,
there's
I
trees
got
in
the
the
same.
water and islands in the water, and it's just filling in
Right,
daily.
right. We well aware of that. My section too, so,
Yeah.
I have a word, Don.
sure.
Hey,
Uh,
I'm sorry. This is Jean Ann, and I don't know how to raise my hand. Sorry, but I'm on the lake, and I just wanted to mention, in a follow up to what Pat just said, that when I've had tree companies come in here, and I've asked them about that, they will not touch anything on the lake. And I've had multiple companies come in here and they've all told me that they have concerns. If they touch anything, there will be some type of issue with DEP or EPA or someone like that.
Yeah, they're probably right. So I'm told, I think Pat was talking about trees that fell in the lake.
Yes, no, I understand that. I understand that because I have, like one from my property that's into the lake.
Well, you can email me separately and I can talk. There's a company that's out there I can tell you about that will do it, and they're responsible, environmentally responsible company. So,
Great, I appreciate that. Thanks, John.
okay. All right. Carol?
I just wanted to say that I spoke with Borough Hall and Interlaken today about the kayak rack access,
Oh.
and apparently the information was posted recently on the website, and there's it's there on the Interlaken Borough website for anybody. But the racks are open just for Interlaken residents only. There's an abbreviated season this year, and there's a lottery like in a day. So that's where that is at. I did not get any update on the monofilament station that I proposed. I did request a couple of times, but was not able to get a good answer on that. And I just wanted to remind everybody about the cleanup on October 21st. I'll be at the Interlaken meeting point where we usually meet. Don, the bench is broken. We're going to have to find a new way to store our stuff.
The bench is broken.
It's been broken. Yeah.
Yike.
And then Jeannie, I was hoping that you could share that QR code with me so that I could take it to my town to ask them to put that in their newsletter.
Yeah, absolutely, I will.
Okay.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. You guys wouldn't get the newsletter from Asbury Park because you don't live in Asbury Park, but they did put that in the newsletter that went out to everybody. And if each town would do something like that, we could get more subscribers to our email newsletters so that they go out
Yeah,
twice.
that's a good idea. It's a good idea.
So if you want, I'll send you what I sent to the town with the QR code, and then you could ask your towns to include that in their newsletters, or however they send out news to your, to the local people in your town.
Do we have a QR code on our website yet? I don't think we did.
Did you get the cards made up yet?
I'm going to make them up in time for the cleanup.
Okay.
Okay, and so then everybody will have those, and I can give them to you if you come to the cleanup, or mail them to you.
Hey, Jeannie, I just checked the website. Can you want to put, that's a good idea, the QR code. You can put it on the website instead of.
I wouldn't put it on the website.
I guess you click the website, right? You click it. That's right.
Yeah,
So
the QR code takes you to the website. So
yes, that's got it.
on the website, you don't really need to
Okay.
click the QR code. It'll just take you back to the website again.
Well, we can add.
Jeannie, could you get me?
We can add the QR code to the marketing of the cleanup too, Jesse.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll send that to you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm gonna.
Once you have the
It's
cards
going
made
past
up.
their bedtime.
All right, Jeannie, once you have the cards made up, could you get some to me on the Interlaken side where
everybody.
where my people meet?
I'm going to give one to every commissioner. Yeah.
Great.
I'll mail them to you, or I'll see you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have them.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
I have a motion.
When do you need?
We're going to have a motion to close the meeting.
Wait, one thing I just need to ask Jesse. Jesse, when do you need the QR code by?
I'm not going to probably advertise until the second week in October.
Okay, I'll send it to you before that.
Perfect.
Yeah, just
And we can
Jeannie,
get it on our
Just
TV
send it to
stations.
everybody on the mailing list. That's fine.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
Yep.
Okay,
that would be great.
awesome. Motion to close the meeting, please.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect.
Okay. Have a great
So
night.
long.
Everyone have a good
Nighty
night.
night.
We'll see
Stay
you.
dry, stay
see-
dry.
We'll see you next meeting. I think that's before the next cleanup, right? So,
Yes, October 19th, I think.
19th.
Yeah.
19th.
I think October 19th.
And the next Saturday is the cleanup. Okay, take
Okay.
care, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone. Bye.